This is a meeting of the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. For the record, those present are myself, Commissioner Mchako, Commissioner Sanchez, Commissioner Santos, and Commissioner Martinez. So everybody's on board. First order of business, approval of minutes. Move to approve, Mr. Chair. Is there a second? Subject to written correction, of course. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay, motion carries. There's only 1 minute, right? Okay. Miguel, we're going to let you go first. So you want to start with your first resolution, and then do you want to do the second one, which is a joint one, anyone? Or you'll let John?
GPA is going to do the joint one.
Okay.
So for GWA, our sole issue for decision tonight is Resolution 13 FY 2024, and this is seeking approval to increase funding for the Central Guam Reservoirs design. As I explained in the work session, a recent car accident took out a portion of one of our well sites, which we have a treatment system going in. That's already out to bid, but before we do that, that particular design did not include any electrical upgrades, which are now necessitated because of this accident.
Because of destruction.
Right. So for the A23 and A25 wells, we have 5 additional components that need to be designed, including the generator, some site security upgrades, chlorination system, which was also taken out by that crash, and some SCADA work that's going to be done. So the additional design cost that we're seeking approval for is $78,891. We're seeking a total funding amount to include some contingencies on that for $100,000. We do anticipate that it'll only take 30 days to get this done, and then we can wrap it up and put the project out to bid.
Any questions? Commissioner? No? Is there a motion? No. Any further discussion? None? Oh, go ahead. Pedro. Yeah,
That's
by
correct, sir.
McDonald's, Senegal.
We have the K-rated, like K-barrier built into the design scope already, so they will add that.
Okay. Okay, no further discussion? Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay, motion carries. Unanimous. Okay.
We just had one other thing on the agenda, which was executive session, but we put that on there just as in case we needed it, but we don't need it for this meeting, so
Okay.
just wanted to let you know.
Okay, John, the floor is yours.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Oh, again, Mr. Chair, the issue here is that again the ECA requires an amendment to address several things. One, the cancellation of the reserve facility due to a significant increase in that cost. The amendment is also to make a change for a change in law requirement in terms of treating phosphate before returning it to the GWA treatment plan. Some additional scope that was due to permitting and other issues, and furthermore, last but not least, an acceleration of the current schedule from January 2026 to a September 15, 2025 commercial operation date. The first page shows you that the total change for this amendment, first of all, starts with a $57,300,000 reduction in the contract costs. Then you add in cost claims totaling 11,098,831, plus $5 million for acceleration of the schedule from January 2026 to September 2025, which means the contract will be adjusted down actually 41,201,169. The different components of that are as shown here. Phosphate removal system, again, we can't send the phosphate back to the treatment plant, so therefore we have to make an adjustment for the treatment system. Apologize, I didn't include this in the last original, but Jennifer, of course, came back and said, oh, we almost missed this one. So it's here today. There's the 57 million I mentioned to you. We have a 6.5 adjustment, all of a 21 million claim from them. We went through that, and then also 1.807 million for a backup water supply from the freshwater side of the system. We have to have, in my opinion, two supply chains. You cannot depend on just one. So what that may also mean is down the road we'll need to look at Miguel and add some more. GPA should be able to take care of some wells necessary to have this supply. It's all part of doing business for GPA. So we have to increase another 2 or 3 wells in the system. We'll have to work with him to
When
do
you
that.
say increase, what increase what?
Capacity of the GWA
Tanks?
production. No, just wells. No?
An additional well, John? Or,
For the GWA system, adding additional capacity to serve us in the event that the treatment plant goes down, so that you have 2 sources of supply.
no, I get
Right
that.
now, we have 2 sources of supply, even for Cabras Power Plant. We have it from the GWA, from the normal sources from Fina Lake. If that doesn't occur, then we bring it from GWA from the north. So that's
Okay.
how we serve it in
Are
Cabras.
you, do you, by the way, do you pay when you get the fresh water? Are you
Yep.
gonna pay
Yeah.
GWA?
The Okudu Power Plant pays for the water.
In other words, that's
the
built
effluent?
into their cost.
Huh?
That's built into their cost.
It's built into their cost.
So,
We may have to make an adjustment if the cost on the water side is higher. But again, it's a contingent adjustment, because it's not that I expect that to be the normal routine, but again, it's a backup system,
for redundancy.
redundancy. And
Resilience.
you never know what's going to happen, and you got to have a second redundancy.
Does GWA charge you for the effluent?
Uh,
Curious, what do you price wastewater at?
no.
Charges for the sewer.
Sewer, too, but not for the.
It goes to Ukadu, then it goes back to
Back to
GWA.
GWA, yes.
And they receive it, and then they
They
hit us
charge
for a
for that.
volume for that? Kind
Yeah.
of like water?
Because it's, go ahead. No. Yeah, but explain.
Of the plant.
Yeah,
But
when
the-
it
but
comes
the
out of the
The
plant.
plant is sending sewage back to the GWA, right?
Right.
It receives sewage at no charge from GWA, and then sends it back to GWA and pays a sewer rate.
Go ahead,
But
explain.
there's no charge for the effluent coming in.
No charge
Just
for
like
the,
as long as we don't use the backup water that you're now talking about, the effluent, the in part is free. That's the saving the 4 million gallons a day of pulling from the aquifer. Of course, in the past, we might have drilled our own well then, right, at that point. But now we're doing something good. I mean, okay, that's good, all right. So
Just
we're
that
still
the,
saving, we're still not drawing water out of the aquifer, and we're still not paying for the liquid that goes into Ukadu on the intake side, but no different than any building releasing wastewater, that there's a sewer fee
That's
for that.
significant at
And that's
all, and then,
would that be volumetric?
Yeah.
The key is to have the redundancy, because.
Well, no, I'm for sure you want a water well just in case
Yeah,
the
no,
plant
we-
goes
we
down,
got the
right? Or when the
redundancy
plant,
part.
that part we understand. I was just curious, in the exchange between GWA effluent in, there's no charge for that.
No,
And
charge.
we're paying for the pipe to bring it to our contractor.
Contractor has the
Right.
construction
So they
costs for.
connect, right, but they charge to us, that's in their price, right?
Yes.
And then when we send the effluent now used by Ukudu back to GWA for processing, we pay a sewer fee.
Yes, and it's not the same amount because there's some evaporation
Right.
through the process.
Is there a percentage of estimated?
I don't, there, I mean, it's
Is
cycled a couple of times.
standard one that everybody, I think everybody that is sewer pays because we don't have a meter on the sewer side, we just take a percentage of the
I
input.
believe they'll have a meter on that side
Oh, really?
because it's not the same volume
Yeah,
going
there's
in.
there's
you have a lot of
evaporative
Evaporation
loss.
going out. And I'll check the
This is,
drawings.
Because, I mean, everyone else that is on the sewer, they take a look at your water and they charge you 60-80%. That's a volumetric charge, right? It's not a flow, there's no meter on the sewer side.
So on our
But in this
side, I
plant
think
there
there
is.
will be because there will be a decrease in the volume going back.
Okay.
But
So-
there, go ahead.
So the redundancy wasn't anticipated. So I mean, obviously this power plant needs to be cooled, right? Or it.
When you're bidding with such a big contract, that's another major consideration that the contractor has to go in through to figure out how he gets the water, blah, 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 and so and so. So it's always better to, it's something that I was thinking about, but I didn't think it should be necessary to put into the main contract.
Now, does it just reduce the efficiency of, you know, if you're not able to produce the steam for the steam turbine, or is it used for cooling as well?
It is for cooling.
It's mainly for cooling. Okay. Oh, it's for all
The
for
way
cooling. Okay.
it's really, the combustion turbines don't need cooling. It's the steam turbine. Like right now, the condenser for caverns, you use seawater to cool it and then out. So here now we're using the treated water, fresh water, treated fresh water, and then it goes through condensing cooling to bring that temperature down. So you keep recycling the water, and this is where talking about some of the makeup or some of the drains and everything start going to go back to the plant.
But in the event you use the redundant water supply, you do have to pay for the water
Yes, I will
and for the sewer.
But there's a
and
7-day.
what we will have to pay the water will most likely be the difference of what they're paying now versus what we're paying. But again, it's a contingency.
And the plant's gonna have water anyway for the human beings that are in there, right? So they're gonna have a separate water in, sewer out.
Yeah,
That
it's a
isn't the
separate,
cool, that isn't the effluent cooling fluid, because that's 4 million gallons a day or something, huge number, right? It's a big number, whatever it is, it's bigger than you're gonna run through your faucet.
So again, it's really, again, a redundant emergency situation, because if you don't have it, you're losing now the fuel efficiency of the steam turbine, so that's huge dollars, no? Huge savings for that.
Okay. John? Yes.
Just I'm looking at the, so we're gonna take out 57.3 million, and then the cancellation claims, what exactly is that? Because that's 11% of the 57 million. What does that make up of?
That's, again,
6.5 million in claim.
it's right there in the
What page? What page is that?
it's right behind the resolution, under the GUP claims. It goes through the whole 21 million.
It's mainly, I believe, some of the legal fees that they had to do associated with the lending and all of the contracting that had to be done prior to the cancellation of the reserve facility. And then there was some survey work, there was some preliminary work, some design work that was also part of those costs.
Yes, that's right, the matrix here. Page 99.
of board books?
Yeah.
It's in the letter.
Is it attachment 1A? As part of the explanation? I'm looking at, I don't see my page number coming up on my.
Page 99 for me is a letter to John from, so what part of the letter there?
There's,
Looks like
attachment
it's
1A
part-
that reads legal advisory fee list.
It's in part,
Exhibit A, yeah, it says Exhibit A, it says the totaling over, in the resolution, it says totaling over 21.8 million.
it starts on 101.
So it goes through all the things, the legal.
Page 101, it starts with the,
Here, you see what the matrix is.
Okay, on the bottom of 101. I
it
see.
starts there, but,
Legal fees, reclaiming.
Lori, I'm not
Relating
getting my, there's some of my pages on the bottom. There's some of the same pages, these guys.
Okay, the next page after that.
I'm not, yeah. Yeah, here.
Actually, if you go to, I think that might be Exhibit B, there's a matrix at the end of the, of our response, the GPA response to Okudo. Or, that would be Appendix B.
So,
attachment B?
Page in there. It's in the last part of my letter. There's a matrix there, the details of 21 million.
Yeah, 101? Yeah, this is what they're saying. 159?
So
159.
there's a 21 million total on the left side for the matrix of all the different things, including again part of it is temporary bridge to bring in all those different things that really were it's not typical of a contract like this. Legal fees, work that was done in preparation of the reserve facility for construction, surveying and all of that.
So on this particular claim, they want us to pay 6.5 million, right?
We
That's
agreed
what they're
to
asking for.
6.5, yeah, all of the 21. On the left is what they claim, and what we agreed was reasonable was the 6.559.
but we don't know what components in this detail make up that 6.6.
They did-
6.6?
There's two attachments. One was their letter,
Yep.
and one was our response. So our response is on 152.
Page 159.
Well, 159 has the total 21 million that they claim, but they're,
Yes.
JB is saying that they didn't agree to that, so there's what you agreed to. I just want the detail on what you agreed to. That's in your letter?
It's,
That's
sorry,
on
sorry, are you
159.
looking at this one? It's on the other side, like there's 21 million on the left and 6 million on the right.
The
Oh,
third
okay,
column.
okay.
Yeah.
This is the accepted side?
Yes.
Okay, so, got it. So you see the, accepted by GPA with the
Yeah,
comments?
there's our comments.
Okay.
That's the end of the letter that starts on 152.
Okay.
So that's our response to them saying this is what we accept as an acceptable cost.
Right. And so you guys went through this and vetted all of their claims against what is,
you
what
felt
can be
were,
substantiated in
Several
okay.
months working on this. Then the 1.8 there is just the backup system. We gotta work with them, estimated it and all of that. Then the 5 million again is the 4 million if it was done by if COD is by September 30, and another million if it's September 15. If they do not meet any of those dates, then we don't pay anything. If they're 1 day late, we don't pay anything. they're 1 day late, they pay $240,000 a day for every day they're late beyond September 30.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And then, John, did I understand you right, that $5 million, that's paid over the life of the agreement, right? That's not,
Yeah.
you don't cut a check in September of next year.
No.
That's spread out over the next.
That adds
You're
to
correct.
25
It's
years,
all,
so-
it's all part of the contract amount, which is spread out over 25 years. All of these things go in there, including the minus and 57, then we add this all in, plus the 5 million in, and we pay that. So, on the next page,
Well, John, let me just stop you for a minute,
no.
before you move.
So, when we go to the savings, then,
Just so that we're clear.
Yeah.
The 571 million was the contract amount
That's right.
for the full 25-year period, right?
That's right.
So therefore, you're reducing that contract amount for the 25-year period to 529 million
That's
Right?
correct, that's correct.
for the 25-year period.
That's correct.
And to me, the major portion that causes the reduction is the 41 megawatt reserve facility that went out. And that's the one that went out because we did not get the legislature to pass the law by March 31st.
That-
If they had passed the law by March 31st, KEPCO was obligated to build that facility down at Cabros and operate and maintain it for the full contract term. And, you
And for
know,
the record, though, they did offer to do it, but it was another $40 or $50 million.
Yeah, the price-
Yeah.
yeah, on top of
Yeah,
that,
but-
because,
But it all started with the legislature being
Late.
late in approving the use of Cabris for power, even though Cabris has been used for power.
and a
since
small little, just a
Francis
little
Everett High
amendment, yeah. So, you know, so c'est la vie.
Yeah,
But-
but what led to that was the permitting, the air permitting requirement.
Right.
Right, otherwise, which somehow it was missed that we couldn't possibly meet the timelines with the, understanding what the
source?
air permitting. and
Remember,
major source
the air
were.
permitting requirement was missed in the beginning about, they missed that, so we were always thinking it would be what you call
Minor source.
minor source permitting. They were coming in with major source, and then perhaps not understanding that it would take years. It was none of our interest to try and stick that major source. We worked very hard to get them to a minor source, which included having to remove the 56 megawatts from up there because it would not have been, very little hours of permitted to move it down to.
The Cabros.
And then we decided instead of a regular standby generator, we wanted a 41 megawatt that could run more continuously, no? And then we ran into the issue of the, here's Cabros Power Plant, as we mentioned, there was a law that was passed that's 1,500 feet.
From any school.
I mean, there's no real scientific reason for that, because again, the fuel that was being burned up there in Machichi, which is right next to the school, and would have been burned down the 41 megawatt, is the same fuel that the the buses are using, ultra low sulfur diesel. But it took so long to get that amendment from 1,200 to 1,500 to 200 feet, and of course, Cabros is where we put power plants, and again, I don't know what was not understood, that March 31st was the deadline. That was the quotation deadline. That opened the door for, that's how it all ended up. But so again, but now, okay, we have a lower contract. We're accomplishing various things. The silence is there, and we're picking it up.
Now, the 529, the question I have to ask is, 529, does that include the $5 million?
Yes.
Okay.
It's right here. Here.
But it doesn't happen. Take it out, right?
Right, so it,
If it doesn't happen, we'll take it off.
Clear 5 million again.
Yeah, they just take it off.
But they say it was $18 million in fuel, so I mean, it's in our interest.
starting
Hopefully
early.
they perform.
by,
Yeah, and if it doesn't happen, of course, they're doing everything they can now, so we're gonna make some fuel savings, huh?
okay, Commissioner Santos,
No, go ahead, Mike, go ahead. I just want to go some details in there.
okay.
That's what I wanted. I just wanted a breakdown of the 5 million. Did we look at what comprises that 5
Okay,
million?
the next page.
Can we get a breakdown of that, their direct costs, their O&A, their profit on that 5 million?
No, I made a calculation myself, and I figured even if I double the manpower that they needed to do for several months to finish this on a 24/7, I came up with a number close to $5 million. The number that they wanted was 12 million. I said, I can understand. I have 5 million. You have 12 million. We agreed to 5. No? So here's the what the, so right now the cost now, and I look for a period June 2022 to about May 2023, because Mawar was just the last part of May. I needed a representative period of time of fuel consumption based on the system, or based on a reasonable system that I can use to quantify the savings here. Right now, we're actually consuming more fuel because, you know, most of our capacities are not running. We're running everything under the sun. So this is a conservative estimate for a 1-year annual cost of fuel. So if you take all of this, the annual cost of fuel is $351,000. And if you can see on the left or right side, that's approximately 21 cents per kilowatt. Very close to the LIAC we have, because the LIAC has under recovery portion of it. No? You go to the next page. If Okudu's on the line, it's going to generate close to 80%, 78% of the capacity factor. The other unit that we use will now be the next most cheapest will be PD 8 and 9, which is the most efficient today. And then all the other reserves, and this is more testing or some emergency over the first year period. But I expect this to really go down further, no? And then of course there's 10.6 renewables that will continue to generate. So when you do all of this, and at the $112 a barrel, which is what the February cost for fuel is, it'll be $226 million for fuel. So it'll go from the 21 to 13.7 cents when Okudu comes on the line. So the annual fuel cost difference between the 351 and 226 is 125 million. The average cost per month is $10 million. The monthly Okudu contract payment is 5,750, because once they're commissioned, we're going to have to start paying that amount of money. So therefore, really the net fuel monthly savings is about 4.667 million per month. No? So 4-month period, that's $18 million of fuel savings that we're going to appreciate. Now, the difference here is that really that 18 million, we're paying on the base rate, right? The 5 million, if you will. Oh no, we're paying the 5 million per month, but the 18 million goes 100% to the LIAC. So that's goes to the ratepayers.
That last line, the 5 million acceleration cost, I thought you said that's spread out over 25 years.
That's correct.
Yeah, so
So
this is a huge saving. It's
yeah.
even bigger.
So all we're saying here is, look, I'm investing 5 million this, and I'm going to get at least the return on 18. But yeah, it's really, you know.
Yeah, it came out to about 5 months is worth like $800,000 because he's going to pay for 5 months.
Yeah.
We're going to save $18 million because he's not amortizing that 5 million over 25 years. He's doing it in, he just did it off the top. But it's actually, from a cash flow point of view, pretty significant.
So you go to the next page, and again, that's at $112 a barrel. Of course, when the price of fuel goes up higher, this year's savings substantially increased amount. Now,
I understand the total savings, but my question was more towards how did we vet the $5 million acceleration cost, that premium that they're requesting? Was it I'm assuming that they have to increase labor. They got to put more people to, to finish on time. So did we look at, what that cost was actually, and what made it, what were the components, direct labor?
We didn't have all that cost from them. All I did was I took the experience from the amount of time it took to do the tanks from here to here, to build up to where it was before the construction. And I figured how many man hours of people are going to be doing that, and I doubled that, no? And I added, I was conservative in doing that, so that's why I came up with 5 million. No? And again, they claim me with 12, and of course, that 12 million really didn't also come with a lot of details, no? But again, I figured all the other parts of the commissioning could be handled on time. Maybe the pipeline might be a little delayed, but I think so that's what I laid forward as the real 5 million. I
Commissioner
thought that was
Santos has,
reasonable to
I
get.
mean, John, you're,
Commissioner Santos has a question.
I look at it as 1% of the total cost, but I just a question, I guess, following Commissioner Chalco on I'm just trying to quantify I'm calling it a bonus, right? It's a finishing bonus, if you want to call it.
Incentive bonus.
what, yeah,
To
so,
speed up.
so I guess the question for me is you're confident that in 17 months, we have a plant, actually, they're gonna be running it before that. We kind of already hinted at that somewhere before in 2025, that it's up and running. I mean, if you went by today, John, and I drove by today, what are we at percentage completion on that plant? The 3 stacks are up, clear.
I think you said 82%
Yeah,
of the
I
work
saw the last report, the GM report, you have
It's like 80%. It's in the work,
80% or
work session.
So 82%
Something like that.
completion, so what's really left?
Oh, the pipeline, the storage
Yeah,
tanks.
okay, that's
Yeah,
one, okay.
that we can, so
Yeah,
we're
fuel
trying to
it.
finish
Fuel
that
it.
this
Yeah.
year so that, we're gonna have to fuel that either at the end of the year or January.
Okay.
And then, you are correct, they'll start testing once they get all that fuel in
Yeah.
February. So in February already, we're gonna be getting
Some
fuel
benefits.
savings, no? Fuel savings because the combustion turbines are 35% thermal efficiency. They're more efficient than Cabra's power plant. That's a state-of-the-art combustion turbine. Then when they get to later on, after they test all the 3 turbines for so long, then they'll test the one turbine with the heat recovery boiler, the steam. That one now is 51%. That's where now, we're starting to get. Then they'll start testing 2, testing 3, making sure all the bugs are out, and then running for a while to make sure. Because once we're in commissioning, then they start getting into the penalty stage of not delivering and all of that. So yes, you're looking at August having some capacity again for us, and that's why if you see the temporary power, I limit it to a 2-year base period, having confidence that it come in and knock on wood, if another typhoon comes, we'll have to negotiate that deal. No? But right now, no more than 2 years for the temporary power. So yeah, the huge savings, and again, all of this, everyone's suffering from the storm, even though they're going to get some insurance money and all of that, they don't have all the capacity of capital, so I have to step in our best interest to try and provide some incentive here that will provide them some funding to be able to accelerate this power plant, because it's a huge savings for us, as I will show in the again very shortly. But so here again, the various different, the higher the fuel prices, of course, it's going to go. But we're going to start saving money for the ratepayers beginning around the February of next year. But certainly, if it's commissioned, that means they're going to run at 51% thermal efficiency, which means that's the normal way of operation. Next. You did ask for some information, Mr.
I did,
Chair.
yeah.
One is PD. What will we say from PD? PD, the variable cost, because we're going now from an 80% capacity factor. They're generating about 500, 600 million kilowatt hours per year. They're going to drop to about 173 million because there's a second more efficient. So there'll be more shaving peak or adding whenever they need to bring the other unit down. In addition to that, we also have cylinder oil and emulsifier for the protection of the SO2 emission catalyst. all of this is based on is a direct proportion to operation kilowatt hours. So therefore, when we reduce from 500 say million kilowatt hours down to 173, we're going to save $3.3 million just from PD 8 and 9 itself.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So you're basically running this plant like this. You're basically running 8 and 9 as a peaking plant.
That's correct.
And are you also intending to run it as a reserve for when they need to take Ukudu down?
That's correct. It's a
So
big
this-
chunk
this-
of 86 at least.
This and how many other plants, John?
Almost all the plants have to run once every 4 years. No? So how do we get around that? We get around that when we have more renewables with
Okay,
batteries.
so that's what I'm asking. So
Yes.
you've got I don't know how many companies. There's like 5 companies
That's correct.
who bid, and it's like 300 and some reserve, 300 and some 330 megawatts of solar.
Correct.
Is it solar with batteries to discharge or just solar?
It's solar with batteries, but the shifting portion of it is 50% of all the energy that they generate. 50% will be carried. So you're almost equivalent of 150 megawatts of batteries. No?
Okay.
So then that one would start to shift the peak. At those points in the future, once you start getting those, and again, given a year of proving it or so and so, then you can start again.
Now, John.
All the other conventional units, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, including Okudu, will start to come down also. So you'll be saving on variable costs impact on that. No?
My point is, John, if you do if you accept all the proposals from everybody, then you add that to the existing 86 megawatts that you have. You're now up around 400 and plus megawatts for solar.
Oh, with solar?
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
now the 86 you have, it doesn't have that shifting capacity. A little limited, very limited, right? The batteries that exist at
Oh, the one we have today, yes, correct.
the 60 megawatts at Marble has batteries, but it's more to catch the dips.
And the
Okay.
frequency.
Okay, and then the one at Ladzon, the existing one at Ladzon,
Doesn't
the
have
25, doesn't have anything, but we've put batteries
Well, we
in.
put a battery, but
So-
that's just for shift, that's not for shifting, it's just
But
for
not for
frequency.
shifting. But my question is, so on a normal day, you can run those 400 megawatts in addition to Okudu, and you can meet all your needs. You won't be running 8 and 9.
Yes, in the future. That's the way it works.
I mean, if all 300 if you accept all 300 and you build all 300.
So you're gonna have to, down the road, once we get all of this, say we award the 330 megawatts and it comes on the line proving about a year, then you start considering which ones of the plants you're gonna retire.
Okay.
And then you can also start considering how you're gonna meet the future loads, the 100 megawatt that the Navy's coming in and other loads. So you rerun that integrated plan and say, okay, this is how we're gonna save money. We're gonna retire this plan, this plan, this plan.
John, our anticipation is some of these changes will still be 15 years out in terms of load growth, or 10
No,
years out?
I think you're gonna make this decision
No.
probably within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about, maybe I'm not clear.
No, you're right, I'm following you, there's a growth coming.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make sure that even after Ukudu and after 380 megs of renewables, are we still okay?
Yeah, no, but in addition, what I want to know is, what is your anticipated time frame? Because you know that if it's 15 years, what we know.
The DOD loading saying 100 megawatts by the 2033.
2033, that's
A decade, 9 years.
9 years, that's a decade. Okay, but my point
Then
is,
you have to
10
add-
years from
I hope
now,
I'm off the commission.
yeah, I might not be alive, okay? I don't know if I'll be alive, but you'll be alive, you'll be here. But
You won't have
hopefully.
you won't have phase 3 until 2028.
Yeah, no, John, see
So,
that,
you see what I
that's,
mean?
no, but John, that's my point is, the point I'm trying to make is that as we continue to do the planning with the IRP, you don't stop that. That's a process that keeps going on. In the next decade, something else is going to come along. We almost know that. We didn't know about solar power, now we know solar power. We didn't know a lot about batteries, now we're getting better with batteries.
Hydrogen, nuclear, who knows?
Who knows what it is,
So,
but,
right
so,
Now we got
Right now, we have a contract with 8 and 9A up to 2029.
okay.
So
We
then
own them
that,
already. We own-
before
we own-
that point, you decide which machines you're gonna keep, no?
Yeah,
to-
John, the reason why I bring this up is because, remember when we got this plant approved, that was back in 2015, and we were before the PUC. One of the things you stressed was this is the last power plant you're building. There's no other power plants from this part up. Fossil fuel, let me be clear, fossil fuel power plants. There's no fossil fuel power plants coming to be built anymore.
Correct.
This is the last one, because as we transition out, like I said, over the next decade, something else will come along. The existing fossil fuels will start dropping off. Okay, I want to make sure, because that's the thing we were all talking about.
Yeah, that's
And
not
that's the commit,
changed.
that's the commitment we made when you and I sat before the PUC.
That's not
We
changed.
all made
Well, no, we all made the commitment, but, yeah, but what I mean
Remember,
is,
he's whacked off how much capacity from the original deal because
Simon.
life intervened, right?
Simon,
Yeah,
all I
but-
meant to say is,
Plenty of capacity.
this is the thing that we presented to the PUC.
That's not changed, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
You're not gonna add any more. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna depend on more batteries, no? The more batteries prove itself, then the more you can retire some of the conventional unit. The only thing you're gonna have to look in the curve is what is your, on a rainy day, what the percentage of your peak is, do you need in conventional units? At least when we start talking 50, 75%, when you're going 100%, you're gonna need other type of 24/7 type of renewables, right?
yeah, but that's down the road.
Down the road, né?
Yeah.
But in between that, like today, or in a rainy day today, our peak is not 260, it's like 210, right? So if you didn't have, if you have rain for 2, 3, or 4 days, you don't have enough capacity. You can only charge from the solar trough. Then you have to figure out what is that conventional unit that you have to retain. That's all. But yeah, that's nothing. It's not changed. We're not going to add any more new capacity than what we are actually doing today. So again here,
Any other,
John,
Commissioners,
I think
any
we're ready.
other, any other questions? We need a motion, by the way. We don't have a motion.
But are we done with the presentation, JV? Did
No,
you
we
have
are done
other
yet.
information to share or no?
no,
That's
I'm
it?
not done yet.
Okay.
You're done, you're not done yet?
I'm not done yet.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah,
Continue.
okay.
That's what I'm saying. Let me go forward. Let me finish.
Wait, John, you're
okay.
done. I think Mike didn't phrase this question properly.
Yeah. So
No, that was my question.
the next
We have
page,
more to
no,
show.
Mr. Chair.
Young guy, see.
not
We're
done
all,
yet?
I missed the working session.
Are you
we're all
not?
kind
I
of
did too.
familiar with the waterfall, no? What are the savings and what are some of the things that are going to fall out from this from the thing, no? So we start looking like this was in 2021. The cost of the plan was 72. The total increment of sub net generation after you deduct all of the bond refunding, retirement of Cabras, Gigo Tenzo retirement, Agreco retirement. Again, this was done in 2019, no?
Yeah.
And move forward to
That's what we
today.
promised.
So the subtotal is 27. Your fuel savings then, no, based on what it was, because remember we're still burning RFO and all of that. And again, it wasn't until later that because of all the delays, we had to go to ultra low sulfur fuel and our costs had gone tremendously up, right? So therefore, the net savings to all the customers is $37 million in fuel costs, no? Fast forward to today and estimating for beginning September 2025. We dropped it to 69 million. The bond refunding, of course, we anticipated if we had gotten out to the market right away, we were going to get $19 million reduction in debt service. We didn't get out there right away. In fact, we got delayed even further. So what did we end up with? 10 million. So we lost 10 million of reduction in debt service of all of our plan here, right? So again, so we're looking at a 2014, 304,000, yeah, but still savings. We're still putting these numbers here for Clapper's retirement and labor. Tenjo and all the Zigo Diesel we're reviewing. This is why I was saying last week, Mr. Chair, I wasn't ready yet to give you a total update. We're getting all the numbers, so we're seeing what is it costing today, so we can put in, you know, what that number may be. Reduced insurance premium, 1.4 million, and PD 809, there was an IPP that ended, so therefore we did reduce the 7.3, and then you're going to see, so I'm sorry, so the subtotal after this minus all these savings is 42. The fuel savings now is, as shown earlier, 125 million. If you take, there's also the tanks. There's the tanks that we're renting now. 5.4 million is going to go down. That's a LEAC component, no? And then the PD 809 cylinder that I showed you savings earlier, that's a LEAC component. So therefore, the total now fuel and LEAC component savings is about $90 million. That will go back based on this. So we're still working to how to figure out the base rate. We're not over yet on that, but again, this is where we are
So,
today.
I don't know if it's in here, but, okay, we decommissioned Tango 1 and 2, right?
Did you do 1 and 2?
No, Tango.
Yes,
Tango,
yes, sir.
we
Yes.
we decommissioned that one.
Yeah.
3 and 4 had an explosion, affected that, and 3. Have we decommissioned that already?
Yes, this
Okay,
commission, we're
that's
gonna have to take it all out, but.
I know, I
yeah,
know.
it's
That's
on
just the
yeah.
first step, John.
Yep, yep.
So when you take Cabras 1 and 2 out, they're gonna get decommissioned.
That's correct.
At that point, are you going to try to do the plan to retire them?
To
'Cause to
remove them?
To remove them, yeah, you
Yeah.
know, retire them?
They're working already on the bid for that.
Okay.
3 and 4.
All 3, Tango, Cabras 1 and 2,
2, Cabras 3 and 4.
3 and 4,
Okay.
and Cabras.
Who owns the land down there in Tengiz?
Well, I think
Anybody
that's
know?
property that's to be turned over to GPA.
That was an old Navy lease though from that, right?
Well, it was Navy.
Yeah, we used to lease the land.
And all we did was, we paid for one plan, and the Navy paid for the
My
other plan.
understanding
That's
now
what I
is
remember.
this, when we took over the CSA, those properties and
They're supposed to
assets
come over.
They
are
were
coming
supposed to come
over.
over.
That's right.
But because
That
there's a
transfer's taking
requirement to look at the environmental factors of all of that,
It's a nice piece of property.
GPA got into a lease for 50 years to give the DOD time to. So right now, they're transferring partial properties. For example, they transferred the APRA property to us. APRA, right? And then the next one is we're working on is to transfer the Agana property to us. So this will over be
This is the
time.
Ganya property.
Yeah, beachfront.
The Mongmong Agana Park, the old Agana Park, these are
John,
subdivisions.
I didn't,
We're talking about right of ways and all of those.
Okay,
So
so,
okay, go ahead,
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman,
Santos.
just real quick, I'm not sure if it's Tracy or, can you just find out the property down there on beachfront property in Tengiz? Just find out who's gonna own that. If it can turn over to us, then we'll come up with a plan to put the new hospital there.
Okay.
No, really, I'm serious. I'm being serious. Find out,
Yeah, I think
own
we-
those plants down there, find out really what's gonna happen.
What can we do with the land?
What part of the land do we own down there? Do
Right.
we,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, what can we get?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, we must own, I mean, the utility, the road going in, it's gotta be a utility easement. I would think the whole road going down.
Worth something.
Yeah.
there's a utility
Just
easement
find out what do we
right
own.
behind it and come down the
never
pit
know, right?
and also.
well, you know, we
Okay,
just,
so again, that's
anything
if,
else?
and again, if no one wants to talk about, I'm sorry, I don't mean no one, but not many want to talk about natural gas, but again, that's still in our plan.
Well, are
all
we
of
doing a
that.
study right now?
Huh?
When is that gonna be completed?
By the end of the year.
Good.
So that potentially can add another $45 million of savings. But again, we have to look at the it's like at the IRP, and we have to look at who's gonna generate what and how the savings will come in,
John,
so.
are you
yeah.
pretty sure that they'll finish the pipeline?
Yeah.
I mean, they're working on that, okay.
Why am I sure? Because once they sign once we approve this agreement and they sign, it's $240,000 a day penalty. That's the kicker of this whole thing. Not only do we not pay them if they don't finish on time, the penalty kicks in of $240,000.
Participated in the renegotiation of, after post-Marwar, we all had to renegotiate, because
Yeah.
shit happened.
So here's your water pole, again, just a transferring of the one before, Mr. Chair, and
Yeah.
that's what I have. So,
Okay, are you done?
yep.
Yeah. That was
It's a good deal, it's a
not
good
as
deal
short
for
as
the
I
people of Guam.
No.
This is
Listen,
working.
John, it's good because we ask these questions because we want our ratepayers to know what we're doing. We're trying to be transparent. We want them to understand we're making a decision today that just doesn't affect today. It affects the next decade.
It affects the next 25, 30 years. Look how much
Yeah.
fuel you're not burning
Yeah, no.
for the life of Ukadu.
That's my point.
I
Okay.
just want to point out something too, Mr. Chair. I think you just go back to page 159 and you look at all the engineering work that was done to fix 9 bridges. Is that what I count here, Mr. Beneventi? That they said we're all going to fall apart, is what the director said. So we paid almost $3 million there to get all those bridges inspected and some of them upgraded, right?
Yeah, it's more to prepare just in case as
Well,
for
that-
contingency,
I mean, if you
yeah.
look at those costs right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one could say the engineer said it wouldn't.
Okay, so.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion. then.
Motion, go ahead.
Motion to approve GPA resolution number 2024-17.
Second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Sanchez. Any further discussion? Nope, we're done. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries to 5 votes.
There you go.
Okay, now your last resolution.
Thank you,
The
Mr.
joint
Chair.
resolution.
Resolution 2024-19, and it's actually a joint resolution with GWA FY 16-FY 2024. And again, this is related to creating positions for the in the IT OT area. Again, mainly concerned with cybersecurity, infrastructure support, and all of that. And this is something that we've been working with Melvin on to, again, understanding that, of course, the importance of cybersecurity, infrastructure security, and the fact that really Melvin cannot, as much as he's trying to do it all, we need to support him with all the different infrastructure.
We're not going to clone it?
And this is again both power and water, and then one day they'll merge. It may be inevitable if there's not enough personnel that could be hired and be trained to work forward. But the first step is creating
John,
the position, and
we're
then we'll
supportive
go out
of
and stuff.
IT.
So I know cybersecurity is the top really concern of the board. So
Well, John,
they work out this.
in addition to cybersecurity, you'll remember when those guys briefed us a long time, many years ago, they said, hey, you guys got to work on your physical security.
Yep. Yep.
You got to work on restricting people from walking around your place. So that has to be done. I leave it up to you. Okay? Any motion on this one?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman, for resolution 2024-19 on the GPA side, resolution 16-2024 on the GWA.
Is there a second? Second. Second, Commissioner Chaco. Any further discussion? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries with 5 votes. Commissioner Sanchez.
One quick question, status of the Greco.
Where we are today is there's been, I'll submit a little bit and then Marianne could take over. There's been back and forth between ourselves and the AG. I think we're finalizing those components and hopefully that's satisfactory to everyone. There's also been some back and forth between ourselves and Greco, understanding the changes that could need to be made or so and so. I'm hoping that they can resolve this in the next day or so, and in time for the CCU meeting
Close on both sides.
on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday is when the CCU.
2 days?
2 days. I'm sorry. PUC meeting on Thursday. PUC has already indicated from their the ALJ has indicated that he's in favor of it, provided so and so are met, and that's what we're trying to achieve in the next. That's what Marian and the team have been trying to achieve as quickly as possible. So hopefully, everyone works, and we can have a.
Just maybe the qualifying legal question. Notwithstanding our age, we can't proceed, right? I mean, again, that's the question that everybody's asking. We're kind of like the guinea pig out there.
There would be risks, I would say.
Right.
There would be risks.
Yeah.
So we are waiting for the AG's approval. Like, I had a meeting with Agreco's lawyer today. We have some little changes. I will present them to the AG. We'll see what the AG says. Hopefully they're small and unobjectionable and acceptable so that the AG can approve it. And then the PUC will approve it.
So we'll know actually hopefully by the end of this week.
It's out of our
I'll
hands at
advise
this
the
point.
commission.
We've done our job, we just approved it.
Okay, one final question.
Sure.
I just want to remind us, where are we with the Hanwha project? And John, if you don't need to give us a.
No.
Okay.
Hanwha was, I don't know why they didn't want to sign it, but we decided we will sign it and send it to them and tell them to sign it. So I'm just rereading it one more time so that I can initial it, the GM can sign it, and we'll send it to them.
Okay. I mean, when is their date to do something?
Our targeting now, I think, agreeable date or something like March.
March of.
2026.
Can you clarify, they didn't want to sign it unless GPA had signed it? First?
Signing ceremony or something special.
No.
Yeah.
This is a mess. We don't need that.
So again, we're trying to lock that right up. So,
Okay.
But again, the one thing that we have set is the March 2026. That's been
We'll have a
set.
big party when they turn it on.
Yeah, and if they don't turn it on, get the 4 million that's sitting on the table.
Yep. And
Okay,
that,
this is enough,
yep.
Thank you.
okay?
Move to
Any
adjourn,
other-
Mr. Chair.
Move to adjourn, second? Second? Second by Commissioner Sanchez. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We're done.
Thank you.